So what are you doing, Ellie?
I am making this monkey stand.
Making that monkey stand?
Yeah.
Is that a good monkey or a bad monkey?
He's a good one.
He's a very nice monkey, right?
Yeah, he's a cute one.
He's a cute one, that's right. I think you're a cute one. I think you're a cute monkey.
I'm not a monkey.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not a monkey.
Yes, you are a monkey.
I don't climb on trees.
Well, howdy do everyone, and welcome back to the ranch. I would like to say it's another beautiful day in South Texas, but as you can see, I would be a liar. Anyway, thank you so much for dropping by today for a little visit. You know, I appreciate that. We are all doing well, and we hope you are too. Today's video is kind of a spin-off from the last one. Many of you in the comment section on the last video, the video about all the new housing developments and everything, asked me about the impact all of this urban sprawl was having on the wildlife around here. As many of you know, this ranch here is pretty much dedicated to the wildlife. So I just thought I'd make a video about it. Anyway, once again, thanks for being here today. I hope you guys are doing good. And with no further ado, we'll jump right into it. The first species on this video today are the ones we're happy to see this time of year, the ones that survived not only the impact of urban sprawl, but also the impact of hunting season, which, thank goodness, just ended. So here we go, species number one. Well, folks, as you can see, species number one did quite well. We always worry about the axis deer. This time of year, we had a really cold snap, but unlike what we had a few years ago when all the axis froze to death, it did not get down into the single digits, the low teens and single digits, and that's what those little guys cannot tolerate. They're from the Nepal, India, Kathmandu area, and they just don't do super cold very well. To be honest with you, I don't either, but nevertheless, they all are doing quite well, so they're doing good. As you can see, there's a couple of feeders out there in that pasture behind me, and we do supplement very heavily through the winter. I supplement year round, but in the winter, when all these grasses, as you can see some green here, which is quite rare, but most of the grasses, especially the ones that they graze, just don't have much protein in them right now, so we're shooting the food to them. Anyway, species number one, doing quite well, thank you very much. And now for species number two, one that seems to do quite well all the time, regardless of the weather, the food supply, the water supply. It doesn't matter. And unfortunately, they seem to be healthier than all the rest of the species we like. Ladies and gentlemen, the feral hogs. Yep. They are all doing good. Mama pigs give birth to 12 to 14 babies at a time. And unlike all the other species, almost all of them survive. And I swear that is the most hardy species, and they are the most destructive species. I had about 5 of them come into this little pasture back here. That's about probably a 12, 14 acre pasture there. And they were out there, from what I could tell on the game cameras, they were out there for about an hour and totally destroyed that whole pasture. You can't even drive a tractor over it right now without just jarring your teeth out. But anyway, feral hog, species number 2, doing quite well. Thank you for asking. And folks, you know, with all the destruction of habitat and all the noise that goes on with building apartment complexes on that side and subdivisions over here on this side, you would think the small, dainty animals would be the one to leave first. But not necessarily the case. And case in point, the ringtail cat, your favorite little buddy, the one that we rarely see, is doing quite well. And folks, I find it very interesting that all the little video clips that I had of the ringtail cat, since the very last one in that little montage there, he was running from the right to the left, over here to over there. So I think I might be getting him on his way somewhere, and then he takes a different path to come back home. So I'm going to start moving some cameras around and see if I can figure out his circuit, because I think he has a little course out there. But anyway, we'll find out. Nevertheless, it was really good to see him, because I only see the ringtails in singles. I see that one little guy over and over and over in the same area. And I really wish he would get a family going, but I never see 2 of them at the same time or babies anywhere. But nevertheless, our old buddy, the fan favorite, the ringtail cat. That is the deer feeder going off, if you just heard that. But anyway, ringtail cat, doing quite well. Thank you again. And folks, recently, Rip and I were out on the ranch looking for an overgrown, forgotten trail. And actually, I got off the beaten path and accidentally found this little area. And the first thing I noticed when we went into this little area was a deer head, or the deer head skeleton, replete with antlers, that was shoved down into what looked like a burrow or a hole, kind of an armadillo or a foxhole, if you would. And not only did I see that right there, but immediately, like 6 feet away from it, was another hole, and continuing the line about 6 feet away from it was another hole. And I thought, what are these 3 holes here? The more I looked around, I found another hole that was kind of covered up with some debris there, and I thought, what in the heck is this, and who lives here? Who tried to drag a deer down into this hole? I don't know that I want to know, but nevertheless, I thought, I'm going to figure it out. Actually, Rip wanted to figure it out, and I said, okay, I'll set a camera up. So we set a camera up, and here's what we found. Having a nice day? And first off, I found it very odd just at the sheer number of animals and the different species of animals that came through and visited this area in a day's time. Everything from deer, well, you'll see. First off, I was delighted to see these little cottontail bunnies, as I thought the coyotes and foxes had killed them all. We have not seen them on any other game camera in this area. And granted, we didn't have a game camera down here in this spot. So right away, I'm going to guess and assume that one of these holes is probably inhabited by these little bunnies. Power of deduction. So far, folks, I'm putting these little bunnies pretty high on the list as possible tenants, number 1. And the next critter that the game cameras caught in the middle of the night, coming and going to work, was this porcupine. And I don't put him very high on the list. However, I might have to do a little bit Googling and prove myself wrong there. I always assumed they lived in trees.
I don't climb on trees.
All the porcupines I've seen here, when they were sleeping, were up in trees. But I could be wrong. Trees get pretty cold this time of year, and I don't know how good quills are at making an insulated coat. But jury's out on that one, but I kind of think not. And the white-tailed deer also frequented this area. However, I think they're a little too fat to fit, but that doesn't keep them from bunking down here right in front of my camera and moving. I wound up with a couple of hundred pictures of white-tailed deer taking naps, getting up, getting down, licking and licking, and just being deer. Nevertheless, they don't live in those holes, I guarantee you. And then I started seeing some little videos from that game camera of these guys who were already kind of high on my list as possible dwellers of these subterranean homes here. And sure enough, after watching about 2 hours of armadillos running around, finally saw one go down a hole. So bingo, one for sure. And like the white-tailed deer that do nothing but waste the batteries in my game cameras, the squirrels do the same thing. Out there running around all day long. And everybody knows squirrels live in nests and trees. However, this one went down in a hole. Kind of made me wonder. Every oak tree on this ranch seems to have a squirrel nest in it, but I'll give him a 5%. And these raccoons, just like the white-tailed deer and the squirrels, I kind of think they're just infrequent. No, make it frequent. Frequent visitors to this area. Pretty sure they don't live down in the holes. I think they like holes, but I think they like their holes in trees. And our old buddy, the ringtail cat, frequents this little area as well. Just like the white-tailed deer and the squirrels and the raccoons. I don't think he lives down in one of those holes. I think he just kind of comes to show off. He's quite the acrobat in those cedar trees. I guess we could probably say he's an acro-cat, but I don't know. He's still pretty cute. And then this guy showed up, and I thought, underground den? Possibly. I've seen them in holes under trees with their babies and all, so I thought it's a possibility. But I'll tell you one thing. If you smell bad enough to make a skunk turn his nose and run away, you need a bath. So either he came up on something really stinky, or maybe off camera we couldn't see it. Down there in that hole, his wife sitting there doing that. It's possible. And then out of the clear blue came this little guy, and I thought, what the heck is that? Looked like a cross between a capybara and a nutria. And I just thought, what in the world? So I went and pulled the SD cards out of some of the game cameras that were near this area too. And lo and behold, I found him again. And he's basically a bobtail raccoon. And no, they don't come that way. That's an acquired thing. More than likely there was a coyote involved in it. And the coyote was about that much too slow. Lucky Bob, that's what we call him now. I will be watching for him on future videos. Well, folks, there you have it. New neighbors over there. New neighbors over there. And all the animals are going underground. I think I might join them. Well, folks, that's about it from out here on the ranch today. Thank you so much for stopping by. You know it means a lot to me. I enjoy having you here, and I hope you enjoyed your visit as well. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Look forward to seeing you on the next video, and I want you to always remember I love you. Bye-bye now. So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's going to learn you?
That's a mistake.